for these two. We got a real one connection, folks. Clap it up for the could be, because it could be. Clap it up. Yes. For these two, we got a real one connection. Hallelujah. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is Pointer, host of A Real One, and I'm excited, elated, and ecstatic because you are asking for connection check-ins, and it just so happens we have to check in with a real one who was the first to get a real one on the Christian edition that we shot in Atlanta. Now you see this lovely lady here smiling, shaking her head. Taylor, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing so good. Thank you for meeting me virtually, at this unique hour. I know it for some it's past their bedtime in Atlanta, but for you it seems you are just glowing and radiant and doing what you do. How's life been? You were on the show, a minute ago, and there's been some talk and things like that. So how's everything going?
I'm fine. I am great. It's summer break. Like I said, I was in education. I'm a school social worker, so once the kids are out for summer break, so am I, and I got 2 months off paid. So I'm living La Vida Loca. Yeah.
Oh snap! Wow, I might have to relocate because I don't get paid. I'm an educator, but I don't really get paid. So that's unfortunate. But that's great. That's great for you. Wow. So you got a real one rather early. Is she someone that's your type?
Yeah.
Okay.
She is.
If y'all don't have any more final questions, I have a final question. So any final questions?
Where you see yourself 5 years from now?
Preferably with a doctorate, on either owning a house or on my way to. Would love to be married with a kid, but whatever's in God's plan. Like I realize that my plan he kind of just laughs at, but he has been literally like guiding me since I've been here. So I kind of just let him ride, and I'm a passenger princess.
Amen.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. If there's no final questions, my final question is, do you believe this could be a real one connection?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel this could be a real one connection?
We can try it out.
All right. Clap it up for these two. It could be a real one connection. Very good. So I'm going to take that mic, and then your heart's going to go on that way. So y'all can go on off that way. Clap it up for them one more time. That's a real one connection. It always starts with a could be. On the episode, you kind of missed some of the other characters. Did you watch the episode?
I struggled to even get past mine, like my little segment. But I've seen like the clips and everything, and from what my other friend told me about what happened, I was just like, well, because I feel like I should have stayed just to see.
Because I'm asking because a lot of the times when you get your real one first, you're like, dang it, did I miss out on somebody better?
Right.
There is a reason.
Something.
Right. From the clips you saw, what were any of those other gentlemen? Did they catch your eye, or was it like?
There was one that caught my eye, and then I saw something about 6 kids, or like, and I was like,
oh boy. Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, but
well, that's
there wasn't really anybody else that I saw that I was
would you deal with 6 kids? Would you
6? No. No, don't get me wrong. I love kids. I don't have any of my own. But that's a lot of priority, like
absolutely.
And it's nothing against him. Shout out, you're a great dad. I bet. But like for me, in my singleness and me not having kids, I would also want to be considered somebody's priority. And those 6 plus your 2 baby moms come before me.
That's
true. And I understand that. Hey, do what you got to do. Plus your family, everything. I would just feel too low on the totem pole.
Yeah.
And I know myself. So
and that's you being logical, and you're going into it not emotional, because a lot will try to fight for them, but it could still be something real. And I'll still like, no, like consider.
We could be friends. We could be the best friends.
Yeah.
We could be great friends, but to be in a relationship with it, no.
But do you think that it's wise to start off as friends and then it could blossom into
100%. 100%. I think the better relationships do start off as friends than starting off like, oh, we're just hopping right into it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always the luck of the draw, though.
Yeah, you never know what you're gonna get. You never know how the Lord is gonna bring people into your life for a reason or a season or treason. Sometimes I like to say, because you never know what you're gonna get.
Yes.
Um,
Box of chocolates.
So I want to get into it because some fans may notice that you definitely did get you had a real one connection, but that real one is not here, and that might be on purpose, as
Yeah.
you said. Pointer, you don't want it. Three on the call. You got to keep it real. Just break it down, and we'll talk. What
Oh,
happened?
what happened? Nothing.
Oh,
Sorry.
oh,
It's funny now because it's like we can always laugh after the trauma has been done, right?
trauma.
So we talked and it seemed cool. Um do you want the long version or the very short
The fans
version?
want the fans. I want to know too.
Okay.
I actually am curious. So
Okay.
break it down, and I might
Um
insert. I'm not cutting you off, but just run it down. Yeah.
No, you're fine. Okay, so we were talking, things seemed to be cool. I first off, he was not honest about not drinking or smoking because anytime I was on FaceTime with him, he was in fact smoking. So I was like, okay, and I wasn't even hating on that because dibble dabble and whatever you do, I'm not the one to judge. If
But don't
that's
lie
how you
about it.
calm, if that's if that's how you calm down, that's your vice. Cool. I have mine, whatever. But I just thought that was really funny that
Mm,
he said that and then to see it. Um yeah, he okay, so we had planned we had planned a date for a Friday.
mm,
That Friday something happened with his job and he said that he had to cancel. Cool, no problem. Work comes first. I understand. You were communicative about it,
mhm.
however you say that.
You're right.
Anyway,
You're right.
but like yeah, you communicated about it. You said you couldn't do it. Rescheduled for Saturday. Cool. Saturday came and went. He was like, I can't. Um, and he just kind of flaked on Saturday too. So
Was
he
he planning these dates? Were you?
he
He was planning it.
so we planned it together. He
Okay.
said that on Friday we were going to go to the movies. We were
Okay.
going to see, I think it was Sinners when it first came out,
Yeah.
or and we were going to see something.
Okay.
Um, and he had to cancel. Saturday he rescheduled for like 12. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. And then that morning I didn't hear from him until like maybe 3 o'clock. He said he was going through stuff, he was feeling down. Men's mental health, I understand. Deal with what you got to deal with. We continued to talk for a little while. I was at a friend's house and on my way home, I stopped to get a snack because I was hungry.
Right.
And so while I was putting in my order, I muted him. And that's when it all just like came out. And he was very upset that I muted him over a mute. Mind you, it's not like I hung up.
Right.
It's not like, and he was like, why would you mute me? And you don't see it as disrespectful. And I was like, no, I don't. Because number one, we were barely talking as is. I said, hold on for a second.
Mm.
And now you're upset that I'm muting you when I'm trying to mind my business and my big back business at that. And just like enjoy like and put in something, put in an order like
Right.
for food
Right.
and you're crashing out. Okay. Um and he just wouldn't let it go that I muted him.
Oh
I
wow.
would have rather just hung up on him.
Right.
Right. So
Mm.
um he we were supposed to like FaceTime once I got home. And he was like, well, you're probably just going to say that you're just going to go to bed. And I was like, you know what? You're right. So I'm saying good night. I'm going to go to bed and I'll talk to you later once you de escalate yourself.
Right.
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 And I ended up talking to my best friend that night. And she was like, Taylor, what are you holding on to this for? Like, there's no logic behind it. Just block him. And usually I don't block. am not a blocker
Right,
at
me
all.
neither. Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
if you want to talk, I'm not the one to just
Hold a grudge or
yeah, at all.
that
Baby,
ain't of God.
I don't care that much.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
believe me, my heart is made out of steel at this point. So
Thank
like
God. That's
you're
good.
not hurting nothing. I whatever.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? No, because I'm learning boundaries and I don't want this person to have access to me anymore.
Hmm.
So I think that was on a Sunday. So I ended up blocking. I was like, you know what? You're right. I ended up blocking him
Now wait.
just
Now did you
because
tell him you were gonna block him?
for what?
You just
No. Like, number one, I don't know you. I don't know you that
right. You didn't.
well.
He didn't earn it. I'm not saying he deserved it, but some people will be like, they'll send an essay like, "This is why I'm blocking you," and they don't even wait for a response and then block. But you didn't do that.
No.
You just said
To
bye.
take more energy out of my time? No, it's okay.
Right.
It's
Right.
okay.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
So I ended up just blocking him, and the next day I was at work. Mind you, I'm a school social worker, so um I saw that he was calling. How he was calling after I blocked him, I don't know.
You have an
But
iPhone, huh?
yes.
The iPhone does that weird. That's why Android. I like Android. But anyway, yeah.
You know what?
They don't do that. Once you block on Android, that's
That's
it.
it. And that might be the coup de grace for me to like switch up. No, never mind.
Anyway, don't switch. Don't
I'm
switch. It
like,
ain't that good. But anyway, so you
but
saw me
yeah,
calling.
so I he ended up calling me, but I was with the student, so I couldn't pick up the phone anyway.
Okay.
And he left me a nice little message calling me out of my name, everything but a child of God. And then decided he was going to text me and say the same thing and say that I wasted his time. There was no time wasted because we didn't even
You
go out
didn't
on
do
a date. We
anything.
didn't do anything. So what was wasted? I don't know. That's on him. Hey,
Oh
be
Lord.
blessed. But yeah, I will say that actually really upset me. I can't like be like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Because it was like, no, I don't deserve that. And I know
No.
I'm not what you're calling me.
Right.
Um funny enough, like me and my dad are really close. So I was like, he called me out my name. I called my dad and I was like, he called me out my name. I was like, you need to go get him.
Yeah, for real. On the
But
Christian edition,
you get what I'm
I don't
saying?
approve of this.
But yeah, no. My dad's
Oh.
all the way in California anyway. He could
Oh, that's where we are. Oh, I can help your dad get a flight back to
see,
you. I'm right in
thank you.
California. Oh no.
Yeah, but
Oh.
that was what it was.
So after that, so he called you out of your name. Did you block him again? Was that
I
possible?
had
Or?
no reason to or no need to. I just deleted everything, and I
Okay.
was just like I like kept it for maybe like a couple of days because for whatever reason. But once I kept looking at it, and I was like, no, just erase everything.
Yeah.
So that's what I did, and yeah,
Oh my goodness, Taylor. I apologize. Had nothing to do
it's
with me.
not it. It's
I
not
just
your
doing it
fault.
as a gentleman. It just breaks my heart because some
Yeah,
brothers really mess up.
yeah.
And I'm not saying some queens also make mistakes. I'm not,
Yeah. Oh
there's no
no.
double
And I
standard.
hold accountability. Like maybe I could have had a better conversation with him.
No, 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 no. And
But
I'm the type to keep it real with both.
yeah.
From what you presented to me, now if he were to, he left me on red. I said, "Hey, my man, I want to get you on a connection check in." He didn't
Hmm.
respond. Which maybe he's busy. Maybe God bless him. I'm not tripping. I'm just the host. I'm just the middleman, right? But some
Yep.
mistake.
I'll keep my comments to myself. Yep. Okay.
You can say what you need to say.
You know how like on Martin, how people were like, Tommy, what do you do for work? It was like,
I get it.
do you have a job?
Yeah.
Because anytime I was talking to him, he wasn't at work. And he was like, oh, I didn't get called in today. They didn't need me at work today. I was like, because you don't have a real job. But that's neither here nor there. So
I mean, yeah. Well, no, you're just keeping it real. You're sharing. You haven't said anything wrong. I do want to bring up some of the viral moments because you did go viral technically.
did
Uh,
I?
well, his answer to your question.
Question. Oh, about Washington State? Yeah, it was all a lie. Sorry. It was all a lie. And it was like, and I don't know, maybe because I talked to my best friend about it, and she was like, everybody who I've talked to who has seen the video, they're like, Taylor, where were you? Like, what? Where are you in the daze? Like, were you asleep? Like, wake up. Because first off, in the world is insane. Two, you don't go to a four-year university and get an associate's. That's not how that works.
You're preaching. And I did my research after, because I do, like, sometimes I stand up for my real ones.
Right.
You know, but I'm like, I didn't see anywhere where Washington was in the top 100.
Because
I tried to, I was like, maybe it's a different language. Maybe it's Washingtano or in Mexico. I was trying to come up with something to support a black king, but the evidence was just
no.
It went viral though, and it's still people.
It wasn't true. None of it was true.
Now, did he admit to you that wasn't true?
Nope. He still tried to keep, eating it up, and I was just like, no.
And I think you asked, kind of to go on a tangent, you asked a valid question about a woman like you who is a boss in her own right. You have multiple degrees. You're getting a doctorate, right?
Well, I'm going back for my doctorate. Not yet, but yes. So manifest. Yes.
I'm already saying Dr. Tay, right?
Yes.
So as you continue to rise and glow, I think you had mentioned some men. Did you mention this? Some men may get intimidated, or I think you might have mentioned that on the show. And have you had that in your experience as a rising doctor?
Nobody's going to admit that they're intimidated, right? Like nobody's gonna say that, oh, I don't want to, you're too smart for me. You're too educated, right? However, I have noticed some people who I have talked to previously seem to be a little more standoffish when I was in school at the time and I had to study, or, when I say that I want to go back for my doctorate, or when I say that I want to, like, continue to pursue education and how education is important to me, they're kind of just like, okay, and then they'll like fade off.
Okay.
So it's hard to be a woman who loves education and who wants to just continue pursuing education, because some people don't. Like, high school was enough for them, and I mean, I'm not gonna yuck anybody's yum, but for me, education's important. Can you read? Can you comprehend?
Nowadays,
like, do you understand the ins and outs of things? And it takes education to be able to do that, and a lot of people aren't willing to do that. So
well, it's a blessing for you, and that's why it's great you have that vision, and obviously you have great parents. I know you shout out your dad. You're a PK.
I am.
Right. So and obviously has mom played an influential role?
Oh, me and my mom are me and my family are like really
normally close. I would say, now this isn't always the case, there's no generalizations, but when you have a great family pushing you, especially those that fight for education and have been through stuff like my grandma and maybe your, it's like, then hey, you better get that master's, you better get that. It's like you don't have a choice really, which I feel like you shouldn't force anybody, but at the same time you do need people like you that are paving that way and just a trailblazer. So but I know it can be tough when you're trying to find a real one.
It has been a challenge. It has.
And this specifically was not ideal at all.
No, but it was, the funny thing was I enjoyed myself so much on the show.
It was great. I wanted you to stay longer. I was like, but you got a real one. So I was like,
I should have. And it's so funny because as soon as I like walked out the doors and I saw, I wanted to be like, pop.
Oh my
like I'm running back and just be like, okay, wait. I changed my mind. I was like, is it too late to change my mind? Like, can I?
Well, now at this point, since I have to ask, fans will probably slap me for this. You may virtually slap me for this, but is there a chance if he slid back in your DMs?
Hell no.
Okay.
Not a chance in the burning hell. No. No, because I'm going to heaven. So no. And so his chances are very, very no.
It's not.
No.
And of course,
even if he were to become the best of whatever and get all of his,
maybe Washington University at the top.
if he got his doctorate in biology, it would still be a no. Yeah, my thing is, it's like there are some people that I have previously dated that I honestly wouldn't mind dating again.
Spinning
You
the
know,
block.
I wouldn't mind spinning the block. I've
Wow.
done it before. Like, I don't mind spinning the block because I understand that people do grow. But
Mhm.
once you show me your behind and want me to like bend down, no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No, no,
It,
no.
it matters how you finish. A lot of people say it doesn't matter how you start, it matters how you finish. I say it matters everything. I care about how someone
Everything
starts and
matters.
finishes.
No,
But
you're
I'm like,
right.
if you end out calling somebody out of their name, being disrespectful, that's
Right.
first of all, it's not godly. And second of all, you didn't just morally and I'm like, even if you're not a Christian, you ain't got to come at me like that.
You get what I'm saying? Like, that was my thing because how can you say that you're a Christian and that you follow the word of God? Number one, you didn't go to church.
That's so crazy.
Like, you didn't have a church. You weren't even like trying to pursue a church.
Don't make me
Like,
preach.
you weren't you like you weren't actively reading your Bible. Like, you came on there and lied the whole time. And hey, like I said, I'm not gonna yuck anyone's yum, but don't present yourself one way and then not be true outside of it. Am I making
No,
sense?
no,
Like,
totally. And
don't
it's
present yourself one way and then when the door closes, you're actually everything opposite of what you said.
and we can, and you're totally right, because we can only vet but so much, right? When we ask
That's
people,
true.
are you a Christian? When they say yes,
Right.
I'm not going to catechize.
Right.
And fans have been like, Pointer, but you should have asked, do they believe in the Trinity? Do they believe in the resurrection? I'm like, look,
I
I'll do
The
it on the show.
resurrection, that would have been a great question.
Uh,
Um,
And
but
you'd
I
be
did because I was
surprised.
like, "What's your relationship like with Jesus?" We're
And you
on
asked a
this
great,
Christian dating show, like everybody asking all these other whatever. No, you here, I'm here.
yeah.
The Lord.
And
Who are
it's,
you here for?
and
And you weren't.
and you're preaching, because the dynamic, even how I present Christian editions, we do have to admit,
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how saved a baddie is. If I'm not attracted to her physically, there will not be a connection.
Yeah.
Mainly not on a dating show. So
Yeah.
for me, it's like, first I want to ask like the generals, and then
Right.
it's like just how you did. I love
Yeah.
when guests like you are like, okay, you look all right. I haven't popped yet. So what's your relationship like with Jesus? I think you handled it perfectly.
Yeah.
You
Which
might
was
have
also the gag because he wasn't even my type. Oh Jesus.
I think you said that. Did you say that?
I did. I did.
Okay.
And then it just like made everything even more frustrating after it all happened because
Yeah.
it was like, no.
But you took a chance. I mean, love is a
It
gamble,
is. It
and
is
I'm glad
truly
you
a gamble.
still.
And this is why when I go to Vegas, I look at the lights. I don't go to no
I was about to say,
table.
gambling is a sin, but I don't know. We can't win. We can't win.
Yes.
So, what is your type? You didn't say it on the show. What is your type? For
Um
the men that may slide in your DMs after this.
okay, yeah, sure. A man of God, a true man of God, first
Absolutely.
off. I see myself as tall. I'm 5'8".
Okay.
So somebody who is preferably like 5'11" or taller.
Okay.
Yeah, just somebody who isn't a liar. who
Amen.
who
Amen.
is educated but who knows how to have fun but also take themselves seriously.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
prefer I as a curvier girl, I also like huskier people, but like
Mm-hmm.
I've also realized that I can't block my blessings from however it's being presented,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um so and I think from that experience I've also allowed myself to kind of break down some of those like
Requirements
um
and preferences, and
yeah, kind of like those like materialistic or
that's
like
good.
vain type of looks or whatever. At
Yeah.
this point, like if you respect me and we can have a good conversation and you're not just like trying to get into my pants, like and you know how to actually treat a woman
Yeah.
and know how to like court and talk
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just like be a genuine person,
Yeah.
we will get along great.
Yeah.
You know?
And that
Um,
makes you a real one, because I don't think a lot of great women like you are asking for that much in terms of now.
you were
Sometimes I get surprised because it's like, well, all that you said, but you also got to make 300K and got to drive a Rolls Royce. I'm like, okay, where'd that come from? It's like, everything was looking good, but that's
I
not
mean,
true.
is it nice? Is it nice for you to have your own things? Absolutely. You have to be ambitious. Like if you are currently working at FedEx, okay, are you exploring other options to become a manager,
Yes,
to become like a business owner? Like, are you trying to start your own, like mailing carrier system, like
sure,
anything,
sure,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Um, but it's hard because a lot of these guys that I've run into lack ambition.
yeah,
And if you're going to approach me, you have to want more,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Um,
Mm.
but I mean,
You're
hey,
right. You're right. It's I'm just say your Instagram. We're not done yet because I do want to
you're
talk
good.
about two more things. I think I want to
Oh yeah.
mention this. You had mentioned the first date might have been the movies. I just want to give, as you probably already know, PSA. That is the worst. Fans watching, worst first date
First
is the
date
movie.
ever, which is so funny because
That's a red
my
flag.
best friend said the same thing. She was like, Tay, no. And I was
No,
like, well, like, what's wrong with She was like, movies are like, you can go to the movies on the second date, but not the first.
I don't even
And,
say this. Yeah,
but yes, but now that I've learned better, shout out to my best friend.
not our best.
Um, yeah, no, she helped me understand that you can't talk to anybody in the movie.
Right.
There's no type of like really getting to know.
Nope.
Um, and so I was like, okay, that's
Yeah,
fair.
yeah.
That's fair.
It's just something on the show because I ask it all the time. Where would you take? I asked your former real one.
Tulum. I
Yeah,
still haven't been. I don't even know where it is, if it's even a real thing.
well, it probably is. I hope because some of y'all were like, "Oh, it's a play." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh,
I
okay,
didn't know.
right. Because when you were like
Anyway,
Mexico, I was like,
I don't. Hey, some people. So,
that's where I thought too. I was like, he doesn't even have his passport.
oh,
Ah,
oh,
sorry.
oh, my boy, you remember a lot. You remember all
Ugh.
that. I mean, I
As a
and listen,
social worker, there are things that I wish I didn't remember, but I do. I'm just
yeah,
like, oh, please.
yeah, yeah. It was a rough. I mean, if you had been there longer and got to explore, but you did. I think your type. There's nothing wrong with your type. What you just
Mhm.
shared, and I think it is great. I tell a lot of people this to like sometimes things that you can compromise on or kind of nudge on, do that to
Mhm.
explore love, but never the foundation of Jesus Christ. I'm like,
Right.
that is the one thing. Never settle.
Right.
Never settle. But every other things, even height. Like there was a short king. The next guy after him, he was a talented
Which,
saxophonist.
yeah.
And I'm like, he seemed educated, he seemed great. And I'm like,
Right.
he might need to slide in your DMs, Taylor. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
He might. I don't know. I mean, are you like, is height one that you can kind of nudge on?
Kinda. Yeah. I mean,
I
I've
don't.
been nudging more recently.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because it's just like, okay, let's see. But and I mean, it's not that bad, but it's still kind of just like you see eye to eye.
It helps. I mean, it helps. It helps. It does. Okay. And then last thing. Last thing. Now, this and well, I'll just say this. I won't make it. I'll just say it to the fans and to you. But it's so crazy on Christian editions when I ask people. I just got to say, when my boy said Creflo Dollar as one of the pastors, that's just. Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I just want to say this to the fans and all believers. You've got to be mindful of who you're listening to because there are
Yes.
false prophets and false
Yes.
teachers and
Yes.
people that just are reachers into your pockets, right?
Right.
So you just got to be careful. That was kind of a red flag, as many fans said. As many
And
fans.
you want to know what's crazy is now that I like watched the video, I kept looking at your face, and there are so many times where he was like, "Are you sure?" And
I need the
like,
Lord.
I
Yeah, the
wish I
Lord's
would
got to
have
help
paid
me with my
attention
faith.
more. You tried, and I had to be in a day's sleep. I think I was just so excited to be there.
It was great. It was fun. I mean, it was a great. Y'all were a
was.
great lineup. It was just exciting. It was Atlanta is one of the only cities from our tour I'm like I actually want to go back.
Yeah.
Because Houston was unique and Miami was cool but a little too crazy. But Atlanta's nice.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay. Last thing, have you met anyone since the show?
On like online dating, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Did anybody
Back
recognize?
to the slums, I guess.
Well, I mean, God has it for a reason. I never like for people to limit how the Lord may bless them with their blessing.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I think it don't have to be the slum. It just depends on what kind of bums are in the slums.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe there's some gold there. I don't know. But anyway, share your Instagram just in case somebody may slide in.
Sure. It's T_sums, SUMMS. TSUMMS.
Beautiful. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate you for coming out. I'm hoping that if you're open, because your homegirl was like, she don't want anybody sliding in right now. She kind of is focused on herself. Would
Yeah.
you want someone in your DMs if now they know that your real one connection didn't connect?
Sure. I'm never like opposed to anybody because I'm not hey, I'm never gonna block my own blessing.
Right.
But just know, come correct. That's all I ask.
Come correct.
That's
Come at
just come
least
correct.
5'11". Come husky. Come
Not even
Jesus
no,
loving.
no. Like I
I'm
said
kidding.
that just because that was like what
You
my
answered my question. I
eye,
asked your type.
yeah, like that's
Yeah.
just where my eye goes to. But if you come correctly and you're like, hey, I really want to get to know you, and you're not on any type of foolishness or foolishness,
Yeah. Yeah.
then like I enjoy a good conversation. I
Hmm.
enjoy a good outing. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. We'll slide into Taylor's DMs, gentlemen. Become correct. And fans, I thank you so much for watching. Continue to like, subscribe, comment, share. If you want another connection check-in, make sure you tap in. Taylor, you are the best. And we thank you for
Thanks.
meeting us virtually. You're the best.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. It's
Amazing. All
always
right.
great.
We'll catch you next time, folks. Thank you. I know what you're thinking, friends. I want to watch more of his videos. Well, that's a beautiful thing. We've got this video here, which is one of my favorites. I promise you won't regret watching it. We also have this playlist if you just want to dive deep into what we do, or this video here, which is groundbreaking, or you can click this if you plan to subscribe, which I hope you do. So thank you for watching, folks. We've got a lot of content just for you. Hope you enjoy.